I want to extend my congratulations to the 5 honorees tonight. We are so humbled to have you here at our Capitol, which we consider to be the world's greatest symbol of democracy. So much of this building is dedicated to honoring the origins of democracy, but you are on the front lines of this fight every day. You're living it out. Mr. Parsa, you are not even 9 months removed from an attempt on your life. Following it, you said, quote, "The attempt on my life did not stop me. My team and I continue to combat corruption even if it is tough." Tough? He got shot 9 times. Talk about tough. We are just in awe of this dedication that you presented, that you're showing. So please take our profound thanks and respect. It is this kind of dedication and bravery that brings us all here tonight. Of course, as Judy said, all of this goes back to that speech President Reagan gave at Westminster 35 years ago tomorrow. You know, we look at that speech as iconic. We all hearken back to it. It was not really all that well received at the time. The biggest headline actually was that members of Parliament had never seen a teleprompter before. The reason some of the experts did not connect with it is they just didn't share Reagan's optimism about winning the Cold War and defeating communism. They didn't see it necessarily, but he did see it. And here is the passage of the speech that I found the most compelling. This might sound familiar. While we must be cautious about forcing the pace of change, we must not hesitate to declare our ultimate objectives and take concrete actions to move them. We must be staunch in our conviction that freedom is not the sole prerogative of a lucky few, but the inalienable and universal right of all human beings. The reason this sounds familiar is because Judy Shelton just said it a few minutes ago. But it is worth repeating over and over and over again. Think about this for a second. That was not just an observation or a comment on events. It was a call to action. And what Reagan meant is that freedom, although an inalienable and universal right, is not guaranteed. It needs to be fought for and defended at every turn. And America would not just be part of a coalition in that fight, he claimed. America would need to lead that charge. That's the mission that the NED carries out every day on behalf of this nation. But it does so against some very powerful forces. Look at where we are right now. According to Freedom House, 2016 was the 11th straight year of decline in global freedom. This trend should alarm all of us. The rising tide of authoritarianism, corruption, and terror undermines not only our principles but our security. These forces seek to divide, they seek to destabilize and demoralize us. Because corruption is not just a means to gain power or influence. It threatens to deprive ordinary citizens of their voice and of their belief in each other. And when people lose confidence, that resilience that is so vital to an active citizenry, the whole system comes into question. This is why we cannot separate our values from our policies. This is why we cannot separate our ideals from our interests. We cannot separate moral imperatives from strategic imperatives. They are inextricably linked. If America will not bring people together around freedom, human rights, and the rule of law, who will? And how can we credibly hold these principles up as our heritage if we don't fight for their future? Here in the United States Congress, the heart of our democracy, it is where our values and policies intersect. Every year, no matter what the politics of the day, Republicans and Democrats, you see some right here, Republicans and Democrats work together to reaffirm and to expand these commitments. After all, it was Speaker Tip O'Neill, Reagan's great nemesis on domestic matters, that the National Endowment for Democracy was created. We work together to fund these critical programs to support emerging democracies and these critical civil society organizations. We impose sanctions on human rights abusers and their enablers. We expand economic cooperation with our partners across the globe. We rebuild our military so that it can confront the challenges in the 21st century. And we're raising awareness for women's rights in countries like Iraq and Afghanistan. So let me simply close by saying this. The pace of change can be frustratingly slow. Reagan understood this as well as anyone else, better than anyone else. Not everyone will see around the corner like you do. Not everyone will be as staunch in their convictions as you are. But nothing is more important than speaking up for those who cannot speak for themselves. And this Congress, Republicans and Democrats, this Congress and the people that we represent, we will always have your back. Thank you very much for being here, and congratulations.